Hi, Antonio Thornton here, and in this short video, I'm going to share with you a case study of how you can 2x to 5x your business in the next 3 to 12 months using a proven system that we call the 4-core methodology. Now, in this case study, we're going to look at a client of ours, Mr. Carlton Brown, who's the owner of Occasional Occasions, which is a catering company here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm going to show you exactly what we did to triple his revenue in 6 months. Now, this case study is going to be slightly different in that I want to provide tangible value for you so that you can get this now and use it in your business immediately. Now, before I get into the case study, I want to share with you a little background of the 4-core methodology so you can put this in perspective in seeing what we did for Carlton. Now, we created the 4-core methodology over 22 years ago, and it's been in constant development since that time. Now, it was built on 4 solid principles which are the foundation of business success, and I'm going to go over those in just a moment. But over the years, it's evolved into a comprehensive system that works every single time. And through our books, online training, videos, live training, one-to-one coaching, and consulting, we've worked with over 2,600 clients in various capacities, and those 2,600 clients have spanned over 41 industries, everything from online product sales to attorneys to carpet cleaning companies to even businesses as obscure as dump truck sales. And having worked with thousands of businesses across multiple industries, we found that the 4-core methodology simply works. Whether you are making $50,000 a year or running a Fortune 500 company, these principles are sound and work every single time. So let's jump into the 4-core methodology. What is the 4-core methodology? Well, as I mentioned, this methodology, this system, is built on 4 basic principles. We call them phases, and I'm going to break each one of them down for you now. The first phase is the attraction phase, and this is where we identify your target audience. Who are you actually selling to? There is no business that can sell to everyone. 99 times out of 100, there is a best client for every single business, and we help you identify your best clients in order to get optimal conversions and optimal revenue. The next phase is the activation phase, and this is where we dive into your actual sales process of converting a prospect into an actual paying client. This phase deals with sales copy, salesmanship, your conversions, and everything that goes into actually acquiring a new client. The next phase is the ascension phase. Now, this is where the majority of our clients tend to get really excited, because this is the phase that we can easily double or triple your revenue by creating an ascension path to earn more revenue per client through creative back-end selling and funnels and finding hidden revenue opportunities in your business. And automation is the final phase, but the most powerful, in my opinion. This is where we bring everything together to create systems. If your business cannot function without you, you merely have a glorified job. And in this automation phase, we build the internal systems in your business that allows your business to run with or without you. So instead of going on about the latest Facebook tricks or SEO tactics, The four core methodology is a comprehensive strategy that ties everything together. We have a saying here that goes, tactics without strategy is like having gourmet ingredients without a recipe. And the four core methodology is that recipe. So let's jump into the case study and where we found most businesses fail in the attraction phase of the four core methodology. Most businesses we find are going after the wrong market. They don't take the time to really identify who their best clients are. They don't know what those clients' needs are, what their fears are, what drives them, what motivates them to purchase. Most business owners and entrepreneurs just want to sell to anyone who will buy. And that's an awful approach to take the business. So we find either companies are going after the wrong market or they're going after multiple markets because they're trying to sell to everyone, but they're going after multiple markets with the same message. And this is another huge mistake that we find companies making. A 64-year-old Caucasian female has a completely different mindset than an African American male who's 22 years old. They speak different languages. They have different desires, different motivations, different fears. They're in different phases in their lives, and they make decisions very, very differently. So you cannot, regardless if the product is the same or the service is the same, you cannot go after those two markets with the same message. This is one of the things that we identify with Carlton Brown of Occasional Occasions. And beyond the wrong market and going after multiple markets with the same message, we find a lot of companies will go after their market with the wrong messaging. They are trying to force their thoughts down the throats of their prospects. You know, these are our products, these are our services, they're awesome, and you should buy them because of these reasons that we think are important. Well, every person has their favorite, what we call the favorite radio station, WIIFM, and what that stands for is what's in it for me. If you cannot speak to what's in it for that consumer, they're not going to be interested in what you have to sell. And one of the last things we find most companies having a challenge with is selling through the wrong marketing channels. You might find someone forcing their business through social media when their clients may not be on social media. Just a quick sidebar, we had a real estate agent come to us who sold multi-million-dollar homes and wanted us to put a social media campaign together for her, and we refused because our research has shown that multi-million-dollar homes are not sold based on a tweet. Multi-million-dollar homes are not sold on Facebook, and not in the traditional ways. Maybe through paid advertising and through those channels, but not through traditional social media marketing. And if you don't know your market, you're going to waste dollars going and marketing through the wrong marketing channels. Now here's an alarming factoid. We've surveyed literally hundreds of entrepreneurs, and we found that 87% of entrepreneurs don't do market research before starting a business or launching new initiatives. 87%. That's almost 9 out of 10. And we find this alarming because if you're going to invest your money and your time in a new business, or if you're in business and you're launching a new initiative, why would you not do market research to find out what your audience, first of all, who your audience is, what your audience needs, and what they will respond to? This was startling. when we got these statistics. We find that most business owners will say, this is a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I talked to my brother-in-law. He thinks it's a great idea. And my best friend thinks it's a great idea. So it's a great idea. And I'm going to go build a business around an idea that 3 people think are great. Well, this is where we come in to help with avoiding the inevitable crash and burn, or wasting of time and dollars and resources on ideas, businesses, and markets that just don't work. So let's go over the principles of the attraction phase of the 4 core methodology, what we did for Carlton, and what you can implement in your business right now. So the first thing we identify in the attraction phase is we define your target market. Who is your best client? As I said earlier, every single business has a best client. No matter what your business is, no matter what you're selling, you cannot and should not ever try to sell to everyone. We like to say, when you try to sell to everyone, you sell to no one. Now, how do you define your target market? The first way we do that is through building a demographic profile. And the demographic data points are things that you can typically see and easily identify about someone. So you can see someone's ethnicity. You can see if they're male or female, whether they are, whatever their age range, are they over 40, under 40, 20 to 30, etc. Are they married? Do they have children? Do they own a home? Do they own a car? These are data points that you can typically get relatively easily through various methods in the marketplace. The other aspect of defining your target market is building out a psychographic profile. These are things that we call your intangible data points. These are thoughts, feelings, ideas, goals, aspirations, fears. What are the things that keeps your market up at night? What are they saying to their spouses? What are they complaining about? What are they constantly saying that they need? These are the things that typically come from more in-depth research and understanding what your audience actually desires. The next part of the attraction phase is defining your unique selling proposition. In other words, your messaging. Once you define your market, your next objective is to define your messaging. You know who you're talking to. Now let's define what you need to say in order to attract them to your business. This is critical in that if you don't know who you're talking to, you have no idea what they need. And particularly if you're in a competitive market like insurance or personal injury attorney or many things for that matter, it is critical for you to identify your unique selling proposition. Without defining your unique selling proposition, you become a commodity in your prospect's mind. And when your prospect sees you as a commodity, you're now forced to compete on the one thing that you should never, ever compete on, and that's price. I like to give this example to give you an idea of how important having a unique selling proposition is. Imagine sitting at a conference room table. There are 2 people sitting to your left, and there are 2 people sitting to your right. And all of you do the exact same thing. Sitting on the other side of the table is the ideal client, your ideal client. And this person asks the simple question, why should I do business with you? And if 5 of you are sitting at that table and you are unable to differentiate yourself in the mind of your prospect, then you ultimately become a commodity. Being able to answer that question effectively is huge. We were able to do that with Carlton in that not only because there are literally hundreds of catering companies in Atlanta, but not only does Carlton or Occasional Occasions specialize in Southern themed dishes, but he also puts a spin on them to make them more upscale and contemporary. So in essence, Occasional Occasions is an upscale Southern cuisine catering service. So if you're looking for Japanese, you've got the wrong guy. If you're looking for traditional American, you've got the wrong guy. If you're looking for anything other than upscale Southern cuisine, then Occasional Occasions is the wrong guy. Now, these guys have carved out their niche, and they are brilliant at it. Some of the dishes that these guys make are amazing. I try to make it out to every single tasting they do because the food is absolutely amazing. They put spins on things that you just wouldn't imagine. They've got things like crab cake cupcakes. They've got like this hot shrimp and crab souffle and like a French toast casserole. And they have perfected those dishes, and you will not find them anywhere else. That's why defining your unique selling proposition is so critical in differentiating yourself from the competition. And just another quick side note is that having a strong USP also allows you to charge more for your services. But we'll talk about that in a later video. So after you define your target market and define your unique selling proposition, this opens up the floodgates for things like content marketing, sales copy, presentations, even doing face-to-face networking. You can now communicate what you do more effectively when you're now communicating with other people. Everything you do on the web now is based around your unique selling proposition. Your website, the copy, even your social media work, all of that now is based on a unique selling proposition, and now you have a consistent message and theme across all your marketing channels. And that's what leads to the next step is you know who you're talking to. If you know who they are, you know where they are. And when you know where they are, you know which marketing methods will work more effectively than others. You might find that direct mail works better than social media. You might find that a email campaign works better than a pay-per-click campaign. But this is where we find a lot of companies dropping the ball. Carlton was spending money in a few areas that were providing zero return because he was doing it because he thought it was a great, good idea to do. He was told that, you get these returns, but he didn't, mainly because of his target market and his unique selling proposition wasn't communicated clearly enough. And also, I'll even throw this in. We added tracking to everything he did so we could clearly identify what was working and what wasn't. So in summary here, recapping the attraction phase of the 4 core methodology: defining your target market, the demographic and the psychographic profiling, and also defining your unique selling proposition or your messaging in order to speak to that audience to attract them to you. Now, this may be a very easy task for some of you. You may already know who your target market is. Hopefully you've done the research to find out. Or maybe you've been in business long enough to have identified that just based on your sales. You can go back and look at who's been purchasing from you And then that can give you an idea of who your target market is. And also, defining your unique selling proposition may be very clear and very evident for some of you. You may know exactly what differentiates you from your competition. And if you do, that should be in the forefront of all of your messaging, so that your potential prospects will know exactly why they need to do business with you. Now, if you find yourself having difficulty with identifying your target market or creating a solid USP that makes sense to your market, let's schedule a session to talk about what you can be doing in your business. Right beneath this video, you should see a link to schedule a strategy session. Either myself or one of the other consultants will sit down with you one-on-one, and we will work to find a strategy that works for your business. Now, full disclosure here, these strategy sessions are exactly that. They are real strategy sessions where you'll be able to walk away with tangible value. Now, I must say that we love doing these strategy sessions and seeing your business transform literally right before your eyes. And we also use this as a way to show our value to you in hopes that you will choose to hire us. Now, it's not a sales presentation cleverly disguised as a strategy session. We're not going to employ any hard sales tactics or twist your arm. It's just a one-on-one session to identify what we can help do for your business. If this is something you want for your business, go ahead and schedule a session below, and we'll be more than happy to sit down with you one-on-one and put together an effective strategy for your company. Let's see how we can get the 4 core methodology working in your business to double, triple, quadruple, or more your business in the next 3 to 12 months. I look forward to talking with you soon.